The devil is back, everybody. We are here to finish out our discussion on Daredevil Born Again. Did it do great? Did it fizzle? Somewhere in between? We don't know, because we're going to find out here today on Two Geeks and a Microphone.
Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Hello there. So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's so great to have you here. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with the one, the only, the most notorious, we won't say how, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land. I'm kind of wondering how I'm notorious, but okay.
We could tell them, but then we'd have to kill them. I'm just kidding. Just teasing everybody.
Kind of like
well, hey, everyone, we are going to be talking about the new Daredevil series on Disney Plus, Born Again. And we did kind of an opener. If you haven't seen that, you can go back and watch that, where we talk about the first couple episodes, first 4, I think. And then we're going to talk about 5 through 9. I think I thought there was only 8, and I was like, oh no, there's 9. And we're going to kind of talk through that. It will be spoilerific territory, probably from the beginning, because there's a lot to talk about. And some of it good, some maybe not good, some maybe in between, as I said. So we'll kind of see and find out. But first off, we're going to go into, we'll just call it, we'll do geeky news. We'll start that. Well, that's where we were talking before the show, everybody, where we should put this next thing. So let's do that. All right. Well, Mike, why don't you share with us what you're going to be doing today?
So, actually, this has come up, I think, in the Geeky News a couple months ago. But let's see, what's the theater in your area? Regal, right?
Regal. Mm-hmm.
Regal had announced months ago that they were getting Star Wars Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith, for the 20th anniversary, although it's not quite the 20th anniversary yet. May 19th is the actual the actual release date of Revenge of the Sith. So we're a little shy.
I'm sure it's because there's all kinds of, the end of May into June is the whole summer blockbusters beginning.
Right.
So
I know, which is why all the original Star Wars were released in May. But anyway, so Regal had announced that they were getting it. And I kept looking at my local theater, and I'm like, why are we getting Revenge of the Sith? I want to go see Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, I saw a picture yesterday of Hayden Christensen himself going to the theater with his brand new Revenge of the Sith popcorn bucket, which looks awesome, by the way.
Yep.
And his brand new Darth Vader, well, I'm going to call it a sippy cup. Which is funny because I don't have the brand new one, but I've got the one from 20 years ago. Still has the tag on it. Yes, I'm a total geek. Yes. Still has the 20 tag from 20 years ago. I still have mine, so I don't need to buy the new one because it's like, I don't know, $30 or something crazy like that. Mine,
holy cat! Is it really?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was crazy.
Ouch!
But mine actually had M&Ms in it. They're gone now. So, but anyway,
we checked before the show, everybody.
Yeah, Stevie's like, does it still have M&Ms? I don't know. Let me open it. And I open it up. Like, oh, thank God! No, there's no M&Ms in it. I must have ate those 20 years ago. Anyway,
right.
Or I gave them away because I prefer peanut M&Ms over regular.
I'm right there with you. Peanut over yes.
Peanut, so much better. It's much more better.
Right on. Cheers, everybody.
Right out of the gate, man. That's awesome. Anyway.
I like the minis.
You like the minis?
Mhm.
Yeah, the minis are okay, but I like the peanut M&Ms.
I like the peanut M&Ms and I like the minis. The regular ones have almost too much of a concentrated chocolate.
How about the
flavor.
Crispies?
I don't know if I've had those.
The Crispies
they're all
taste,
right.
they're weird.
They're all
It's
right. They're
got
not
a weird
yeah.
texture to them. Anyway, so I saw the picture of Hayden yesterday morning and I thought, hey, I wonder if I'm just going to check. I'm going to go to my Marcus app and I'm going to look and I know I'm going to be disappointed. And I looked and I went, oh, they're showing Revenge of the Sith. I'm getting tickets now.
That's true. And as soon as you finish, you shot me a text saying, I got my tickets.
I sent you a screenshot and everything. Yep. So I have my tickets. We are going to see it at 3:30 this afternoon. I'm really excited. They're not showing it in the big theater though. I was disappointed. And then I looked again and I was like, oh crap, I should have got tickets to Ronnie's in South County. But then again, I'm glad I didn't because they got the southbound side of 255 closed right now because they're rebuilding. And I'm like, oh, maybe it was a good idea I didn't get that because it would have been nightmare trying to get to Ronnie's. But Ronnie's is actually showing it on the super screen. And unfortunately, Marcus and O'Fallon is not showing it on the super screen. But I get to see it nonetheless on the big screen again.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
Yeah.
So
Regal said it wasn't at my theater when we first talked about it, and it showed it that they were going to show it, but it wasn't going to be at my theater. And here in Bozeman, there's only one movie theater,
right?
And it's the Regal. And so I was
How
like,
many screens?
Man, 11, I
11?
think 11 or 12. I want to say. Yeah. And none of them are really super big kind of a thing, but there are a couple of them that are. And so when it popped up that it was going to be showing, and I was going to try to go Thursday, but when I checked my app, cause you can pick your seats and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's almost full already. And that was for the 3 showings. And I was like, man. And so then I was thinking, well, maybe I'll go last night. And then I went to look and stuff, and then I had things come up where I couldn't go, so I didn't buy my tickets just yet. Usually I can buy them just before, but when I was looking, they're showing it in several different theaters. Like there was a small theater, like, nah, that time's not going to work. So I got another one, like, oh, they're showing it on the bigger theater. I'm
nice.
Like, hey, and also, but we'll see how it goes today. I'm hoping to go see it. And
I think you got till Thursday. I think it's running till Thursday, so
yeah.
It won't be in for long. So if you want to go see it, you need to make it quick. And like you said, tickets are selling fast for this because I had to get the very back row. I was like, it was either the back row or the front row. I'm like, I'd rather have the back row than the front row. I don't like the front row. So we're sitting in the very back row, which is that's fine.
I figured I'd be a heathen tomorrow and skip church and go watch it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing, Lord. I'm teasing.
Well, I mean, Star Wars is kind of a religion, right?
Oh, you're in trouble now. Everybody watch his internet go out here in about 5 minutes or something. No,
I think in England it is recognized. At least the Jedi, I think, are recognized as
an organized religion. Yeah, that's correct.
As a true religious organization. I don't know if in America is or not, but anyway,
that's pretty funny.
Don't tell anyone of our churches that though.
Right.
We'll just keep this between us.
Sounds good. And all our friends watching. Yes.
Megan did say that she had some geeky news. It's not particular to us, but she kind of wanted to hop in and give her geeky news. So,
all right, I'll see if I can bring her in here. Here we go. Let's try this.
Hey.
It says she's offline. Add to scene. There she is. I'll just do it like this real quick. Ta-da! Hey, Megan.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. So what's your news? Give me your news.
So this week is Level Up in Vegas. That's the convention in Vegas. And that's seems to be the big one that we get news for Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss.
Oh, okay.
So, and yesterday was the first day, and there was a panel for.
Speaking of heathen shows,
I love my shows.
That's
Anyway.
all right.
There was a panel yesterday that they brought on news. First, we got told that season 3 and 4 for Hazbin Hotel was officially greenlit, but we already knew that. And
For
then
the fans, yes.
we got the really big news that the sister show Hell of a Boss is actually going to be on Prime as well, which means that they can have crossovers because now there's no legal trouble between the shows being owned by the same. So I'm very excited about that.
So they were on 2 different platforms before. One was the other one Nickelodeon, right?
No, Hell of a Boss was completely on YouTube. It's still going to be on YouTube. The way that it's going to work is they're going to release an episode on Amazon Prime first, and then a month later it'll come to YouTube for free.
Oh, okay.
So it's similar to another indie animation. Netflix actually picked up The Amazing Digital Circus, and they're doing same day releases for those. But I don't know how Amazon ended up with a month later. I don't know how that formed, but it's still really big news, and I'm very excited.
Absolutely.
The biggest thing that I'm excited for though is because it's a show set in hell. So we have the seven deadly sins. Well, 6 of them were introduced on Hell of a Boss, and then you had Lucifer on Hazbin Hotel because it's his daughter is the kind of main character. So now we can have interactions between all 7 of the sins. Now that
that just sounded funny. We can have interaction with all the 7 deadly sins. Yes.
I'm sure Derek of 3 Geeky Dads will be excited.
Yes, very much so.
He's the only one I know besides you that watches this show. Although we get approached by a lot of people, when we're out and about. She has tattoos for the show and everything, and she just disappeared.
Oh,
oh, she's back now.
See, she got banished.
Right.
Where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth. I hope somebody doesn't think I'm being blasphemous.
We're just having fun. It's all
just
good.
A joke.
Right on. That's exciting, Megan. Very cool. All right. Do we need to go into geeky news? We should. Let's see. Or not geeky news, Geekdar.
Yeah, this was geeky news.
I was like, everybody help me.
Go with the radar, sir. What's wrong with it? I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps. The what? The what? And the what? You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. That's not all he's.
All right. I haven't been to the comic book store yet.
Okay.
So I don't have any new comic books, and I'm waiting on my Critter book from our friend Tom, who was on last week, because I ordered that.
Yes.
I ordered that while we were on the air.
Nice.
So that one will probably show up this week. I got a few things coming in the mail. My wife's going to be pissed at me this week. I got a jersey showing up. I got a comic book showing up. I got there was something else I ordered. Oh, and my beard stuff's coming this week too. I got a lot of stuff coming. Anyway, but that's not my Geekdar. First of all, my Geekdar one is I've jumped back into Brian Godawa's series, and I'm reading book 2, Enoch Primordial.
Right on.
I had started this a couple of years ago and then got sidetracked and, lost where I was at. And I decided to come back to it this year, and I'm really, really liking it. And, wanting to get through this and get to the next book. I'm really enjoying this series. It's been very good. So
What's
You
the
have
name of that series? The
Chronicles of the Nephilim.
Chronicles of the Nephilim. Okay.
Right. So for viewers and listeners, the Nephilim is described in the Bible, in Genesis, as the offspring of the, how do they say it? Sons of God came down and mated with the women,
The Daughters of Eve, or something like that.
daughters of Eve, and hence the outcome were the Nephilim, who were the giants that are mentioned in the Bible, such as David and Goliath. Goliath was a Nephilim.
Yes.
So this series is all about the Nephilim, how they came about, what their place is, so on and so forth. I mean, it's not biblical truth. It's biblical fantasy, I guess.
Biblical fantasy is probably a good way to put it. Yeah. I would put it that way.
But I've found it really interesting. I'm really getting into this. And
Here's Sam's in the house. Hey, Sam. Welcome.
Hey, Sam.
He goes, there were giants on the earth in those days.
Exactly.
Yes, and he's correct. Here's the better phrase. He said it better. The sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful.
Nice. Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you, Sam.
Yes, he is correct. The mundo.
Good.
Yeah. So much of Godowa's work is based upon a theologian by the name of Dr. Michael Heiser. And he passed away just about a year and a half ago, I think 2 years ago. But I bought for my Bible software, I have Logos Bible software, and they did a special on Dr. Michael Heiser's works. And so I bought those to include in my software. So it's all integrated. So you can, if you're reading and there's scriptures, you can highlight it. It'll take you there if you want to do word studies or all that kind of stuff. So, the Unseen Realm is a summary, kind of like a documentary of his work with him and, the guy that plays, what's his name? Is it Corbin Benson? If those have seen Psych, his dad, that's the actor, but he hosts it. And, you can find it for free on YouTube. And I mean, legit free, not pirated free. I mean, legit free. You can find the documentary. It's called The Unseen Realm. And that will kind of, if you're curious about the biblical side of things, and he's got some scholars on there, well-known scholars that talk about stuff. But I know that Brian Godowa used the supernatural, there's a book called Supernatural by Dr. Michael Heiser, which is a kind of summary. And, but he used that, and you can find Brian Godowa's he's been on podcasts and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Brian Godowa has been on a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
I've watched a few things.
Mike had an idea before the show.
Oh, yeah, maybe we will reach out to Mr. Godowa if he's willing to be on our show. I think we.
Hey, everybody, it's been 5 minutes since he made that blasphemous comment, and we said 5 minutes his internet would go out, and look what happened.
I was doing so good too. It was doing good. I moved.
I love how God has a sense of humor.
No, I think it's AT&T just being crappy. Yeah, I had to move the placement of my router. I recently got the AT&T Air, and you can move it anywhere in your house. And I come home one day and we had no internet at all. And I was like, oh, what is going on now? So I called them and I was furious and I was about ready to cancel. And they're like, no, hold on. They're like, let's check the signal. And they're going, and the guy's like, oh, okay, I know. Mind you, this guy is like in India too.
You're right.
And he goes, okay, I know what the problem is. I says, all right, what's the problem? He says, the problem is the tower you're connected on, they're working on it right now. Oh, okay. He says, and they will be working on it for a week. Okay, great. I go, what am I supposed to do? He says, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to have you move it and reset it, and you're going to connect to a different tower. And I was like, oh, okay. So then he told me where I should move it and so on and so forth. And actually, it has improved a lot.
I don't think we've had nearly as many.
Yeah,
problems.
we've had a few glitches, but it seems like everything's improving. So I think that helped. And this was the first glitch other than Megan dropping out too. We had Megan drop out of the stream for a second there too, but we don't seem to be having near the glitches we were. So I'll hang on to.
Have you tried to connect to the tower closest to you then? If they were working on it, I would assume that would be helpful.
Well, that's the one they were working on. So, no, I haven't tried reconnecting to that. See, the thing is, I don't know if I can see which tower I'm connected to. I need to find that out. That would be interesting. But he could see it, and he's in India. I thought that was funny. It's like, wow, you can see it all the way in India. That's amazing. But
technology. Anyway, we were talking Brian Godawa. My bad.
That's right. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the Brian Godawa series, and I hope to get through the Chronicles of Nephilim. And then he's got a couple other series after that. This guy's got tons and tons of books.
He does.
It's pretty vast a collection he has. But other than that, I also continued listening to DC. What's it called? The
Batman.
Yeah, the Batman
caped. What's it called?
Gosh, hold on.
He's going to bring up his Apple podcasts because it's a podcast.
Well, I actually get it on iCatcher is what I use.
Oh, yes, that's true. Sorry about that.
I hate Apple Podcasts. I don't like the app. I don't like the app. So I use iCatcher on my iPhone. Anyway, it's called DC High Volume. And the first 4 of Batman Year One are done. That was last week, or it was the last of Year One. Highly recommend it. It's so good. And this week, I'm so happy. Chapter 1 of The Long Halloween started. Oh,
nice.
And it was awesome, to say the least. It was so good. I am loving these podcasts. They're fantastic.
What's the name of it again? DC what?
DC High Volume is what it's called.
High Volume.
So yeah, if you're into podcast and you're into audio dramas, Megan, if you're into audio dramas and you're into Batman, definitely. And I love the intro. I don't know who the woman is introing it, and she comes on and she goes, "You are listening to DC High Volume Batman." I just love the way she says Batman.
Here, let me see if this will work. I'm gonna try something. Everybody, give me just a second.
Are you gonna play a little bit?
I think, yeah. I'm gonna go for it.
Of it.
Yes. All right. Let me see if I can get back to. All right. Steven is going to share his screen. Everybody, just give me a second. I'm going to turn on share system audio.
All
right. So here is DC High Volume. I'm using Spotify, everybody. So, so you can tell the last thing I've been listening to was there's a band called Down Here, Christian band. I really like them. They're not together anymore. But anyway, all right. So let's do this one. Let's play this one. Batman Year One, Chapter 1. Should I do that one so we hear that?
Yeah, that's fine. Oh.
Welcome to Sephora. I'm looking for a perfume that's not too...
I'm not supposed to have ads.
I got you.
Serum moisturizer or moisturizer serum.
Let's get into layering.
My concealer is making me look...
All right, skip.
As a small business owner, my favorite...
Skip.
By allowing you to share it with your network. And hiring managers...
Skip.
Lieutenant James Gordon.
Receive 2 times more qualified applicants.
All right,
Go to
LinkedIn.com/achieve
to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to DC High Volume Batman.
Isn't it awesome?
That's awesome. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see how it sounds.
Lieutenant James Gordon, a recent transfer from Chicago, is on his way to Gotham City and about to learn of the rot
So she like
that
the
beats at
narrator?
its heart.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Prodigal son Bruce Wayne returns after years abroad to honor a vow he made to his murdered parents. He will become the greatest crime fighter the world has ever known.
Woohoo!
But it won't be easy. And now, Year 1, Chapter 1.
Oh, that's great. That is really good. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to do some episodes of it. Sound effects and the whole bit, huh?
Nope.
Take this. You said, no, back off. What? Gotham City. Maybe it's all I deserve now. Or maybe it's just my time in hell.
I'm gonna pause it there. I don't want us to get us whatchamacallit. Copyright strike.
Yep.
That is really, I'm telling you, I'm hearing on the headphones, everybody. That's the way to hear this, because it was in stereo as I was listening to. I don't know if you could tell or if anybody else could tell. Well, it's probably not streaming in stereo, but that sounded great. That sounded really good.
Oh, can we get rid of that? Because I got an echo. There we go. Yeah. All right. When you bring something up like that, it echoes.
It echoes? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. That's weird. Okay, I'll figure that out.
That was my mic, but it was weird. Yes. And now you know what I mean by when she says, you're listening to DC High Volume, Batman.
That's awesome.
I love that. It's like one of my favorite things when I listen to it. It's like, oh, I love to hear her say that. That's so
Yeah. Well, it's got all 5 stars on Spotify. So all the votes. I mean,
it's incredible, man. I hope they keep this up. It is really good. I would even like to see them do some other characters other than Batman too. It'd be pretty neat. Maybe get some Flash or Superman or, something like that.
Yeah.
Super cool.
That
Super
would be.
cool. See what I did
Very
there?
cool. I see. Hey, real quick, the only thing I'm going to bring up on my radar, Geekdar, is that I watched the first 3 episodes of Andor.
I have watched
the first one on. Have you? Okay, I watched the first one on Tuesday, and I watched the other 2 late Wednesday night, and stuff. I didn't know. It's like, how are we going to do this? Because we always do Star Wars stuff. And I'm thinking, do we do the first 3 episodes and talk about them for a show?
Well, we're supposed to have a guest for that too.
Yeah. Okay.
A former bank robber.
Oh yeah, that's exciting. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's at the end of that, right? And so on our schedule, everybody, that looks like it's going to be May 10th.
Yes.
May 10th, Saturday, May 10th. We're going to do all of season 2, premiere episodes review. So we'll kind of go where we're at with that, wherever we're at with Andor. Cause that's 2 Saturdays away, 2 weeks away.
Something like that.
That's 2 weeks away.
Next week we won't be here because, I will be camping my first camping trip for the season. So
that's nice. Yes.
I'm excited, and we'll be pulling the camper with the F-150. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll have no mechanical issues.
Right.
It's been a mechanical nightmare.
Oh, that's a bummer. All right. Well, we better get into the main event, shall we?
Yes.
I scrolled through it. I had it all set, and my muscle memory was just clicking the thing, not realizing that I had scrolled through the scene.
Really wants to do the news today.
Really want to do the news, right? It's time for the main event. Dun, 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 dun. We're talking Daredevil, everybody. We're halfway through the show time frame already.
Hey, our main event intro there reminded me of something. It has nothing to do with the topic, but Brenda's kind of into wrestling. Not as much today as she used to be back in the day, but occasionally things come up. And recently they did a documentary on a wrestler, Cody Rhodes, the son of Dusty Rhodes. And I came in like midway of the documentary. I don't really care. But as I'm watching this documentary, I mean, he even goes in and has surgery on his shoulder and everything. And I looked at Brenda, I go, does this guy's hair ever get messed up? I mean, he's got the most perfect hair on the planet. What the hell's going on here? I looked at her, I'm jealous of him. I want that hair. I mean, even in surgery, his hair is perfect. It's like, what the hell is this? I don't get it. How is it possible this guy has such perfect hair? I don't get it. But
so the main event with the ring, took you to wrestling. She's into wrestling, and then that to the documentary. Okay, right. I tracked that. Yeah.
What, 6 degrees of separation there?
Something like that. That was a good flow. I was keeping up with you. All right.
Yeah. So for our listeners, our video main event intro has the
boxing ring. Yeah.
Has the squared ring on it. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Or a wrestling ring where we wrestle with the topics.
Yeah. All right. Daredevil. Born Again.
Season 1.
Half of the season 1. My initial thoughts. I thought for the most part, the first half of the season was pretty darn good. There was a few things I didn't care for, but for the most part, I really enjoyed it. Loved the fact that Frank Castle came back and we reintroduced the Punisher. Was looking forward to seeing more Punisher, more like, let's kill everybody Punisher. That's the way I like my Punisher. We got a little bit of that in the second half of the season. It was almost like a taste, just here's a little sample of what the Punisher should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I want more. I want more. Just give me a freaking Punisher show. Stop this. Just give me a Punisher show and let him kill everybody, and I'll be happy. Anyway, so I was happy with that. I liked the introduction of the Muse character. I thought Muse was very interesting. I'd never heard of this character. I'm not, up on the Daredevil lore in the comic books, so please forgive me. But I really enjoyed Muse. I mean, he's one sick, demented bad guy, which was awesome. It worked. It worked really well. And then I think they wasted him in more ways than one.
Ha ha! But I'm bump.
And then I actually was going to give this a lower score because I wasn't real happy with the way season 1 ended. I mean, we get to, well, I won't say what happens because we're not in spoilerific territory, but a particular thing happens at the very end of the season, and I'm going, really? This is where you're going to end it? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and I just was not happy, and I just turned it off. Okay. Well, this morning, doing a little research for today's show, I found out that there was an end credit scene that I didn't know about.
Oh, you didn't know about the end credit scene?
I had no idea about the end credit scene. So this morning, I watched the end credit scene, and I went, okay, you guys redeem yourself a little bit. All right.
Okay, I don't want to spoil it. Okay, yeah.
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, what are we using for our scale for this?
Wasted Muse. Muses.
Wasted Muse. All right, that's fair enough. I'm gonna give it 7.5 wasted Muse. Again, okay. I would have went lower had I not seen that season, our post credit scene. That I just found out this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back to Disney Plus and watched it and went, okay, that's better. You know what? Maybe I'll say an 8. I'll say an 8. We'll give it 8.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because I got that, but I think it would have been a lot lower. Well, at least two muses lower had I not gotten that, because I was not happy with that ending at first.
Yeah. Okay. I concur. I give it a 7 out of 10 wasted muses. I don't know. It does sound kind of funny, doesn't it?
I love our scale in this one.
Right. The yes, in the first episode we got some Daredevil, and then we went how long without getting any more Daredevil? Is this show called Daredevil, or is it called Matt Murdock, or is it called Wilson Fisk, or whatever? And
I don't mind the scenes with Wilson Fisk.
No. That's not my point, though. It's Daredevil show, and when do we get him in a suit?
Yes, I
kind
agree.
of a thing. And you know how I am about shows that are elongated longer than what they need to be. And this would have been a phenomenal movie. Would have been really good as a movie. There was just too much wasted space. And what I mean by that is, you want to get some storytelling in or real world live in and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm like, let's move this along. I get this. Okay, fine. Or there were some side plots that I'm like, that had nothing to do with the whole overarching story that really could have been cut out, kind of a thing, to make it better. It's kind of like when you're writing and you're having to write something, you do a first draft, and then you're like, oh, I need to trim this, or I didn't do this, or I didn't follow through on this. It's like when they were writing the show, they didn't do the editing process, or they edited what they had before, but it was a totally different thing. And it was a little more discombobulated kind of a thing on like, why was this in here? Why was this in here? Dude, you got a great villain. You only use them for 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, really? You really could have done something really great with that. And yes, we did get the big fight scene. You got the tension between some characters and stuff, which I was like, and then they got this one tension with one character and everything. Oh, everything's all okay. Really? You set it up like there's this issue and then everything was fine. So it's not that it's terrible, but it's just not good. Is it watchable? Yes. Did I Steven skip it? No.
It's disjointed.
Disjointed, yes. Yeah, it is. And I don't know if we got to make a TV series out of it, or, let's get 24 episodes. Because I heard really season 2 that they're filming is really an extension of season 1. I'm like, why don't you just guys do it all together? Trim it to make it 12 episodes or whatever, or something, to make it clean and neat and tight and good storytelling, not, hey, I'm just going to add this fluff in here, or I'm this little filler thing here. I'm like, it's what they have a lot of stuff that doesn't drive the plot, sort of does, but not really. And you could tighten it up. So I was, I'll give it 7 out of 10. I didn't Steven skip anything.
Steven, I'm almost wanting to lower my score now just hearing you.
Yeah. So, is it worth seeing? If you're a Daredevil fan, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is, because they do bring up some neat things, and there's some interesting aspects to it that are good. When Frank Castle's on the screen, you're like, this is not a Daredevil show. It wasn't. And it was glorious.
Oh, when Frank Castle's on the scene.
Frank Castle's on the screen,
all I want is Punisher. I don't even want Daredevil when he's on the scene.
Well, and I thought even with the fight sequence where the two are in the same room and they're fighting and stuff like that, the banter between the two of them made sense because of Castle's psyche and Daredevil's psyche. And it was good. You're like, yes, you're fleshed out the characters. I understand why they're bantering. I understand why they're arguing while they're fighting and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. Well, it was really cool, actually. So there were some neat aspects to it. I agree with you that it fizzled. It fizzled at the end. But I think that was only because they've got another season, kind of a thing. And that's it. It's like, we ended it here. I get it, but just give me an arc, you know, we've lost the aspect of, you know, here's a whole season that encapsulates an entire story kind of a thing. Unless it was this is the rise of Wilson Fisk becoming the kingpin once again as mayor kind of a thing.
Well, now Wilson Fisk's part of the story, I loved. I absolutely love his story. I think it's great. I like that he becomes mayor. I enjoyed that. I thought it was great. I thought it was a move that, you know, makes sense for Kingpin. What, you know, something he would do that character would do. I mean, Lex Luthor becomes president in you know, in the DC side. So sure, why not have
Wilson Fisk become mayor?
Mayor.
I think the show did a good job on the first 6 episodes of it. It was almost an altruistic, you know, I love this city. I want to fix things in this city. It's broken.
Speaking of, I love this city.
I love this city.
We built this city.
I know we built this city.
Rock and roll. But he went through that so many times, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm starting to hate this song. and I could see it in his face. So was he. I used to love that song. I really did. And then the more I heard it, and man, that children's choir that sang it, they were terrible. They were just horrible. I know that's in the first half, but I forgot to talk about that in our last episode. So since you brought that up, I was like, oh, yeah. I want to discuss this just a little bit. So, so the whole we built this city was painful.
Yeah.
Very painful.
But even in the last episodes, that move from his, I love this city. I want to take care of this city. We've got a broken system. Let's make things happen and stuff. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. But then you saw the power side click. Like all of a sudden, it was like, that's not Wilson Fisk anymore. That's the Kingpin.
Right.
And we'll get into spoilers here in a little bit, everybody. Well, we're already.
I think we're already in it. So.
I think we're already in it, everybody. So, hey, just a heads up, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We are going to go into spoilerific territory. And I'm just going to start here with Fisk. This was a Netflix show on, how shall I say this? This scene where Wilson Fisk, you see the moment where he does what he does, the show is no longer a Disney Plus kids show.
Agreed.
By any stretch of the imagination. I was surprised how much they showed.
That scene takes me back to one of the, I don't remember what season it was, but Wilson Fisk has a gruesome scene in the original series on Netflix where he's slamming the guy's head in the car door. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that was gruesome.
Yeah.
And this might have topped it.
This topped it by far. I was like, I did a Steven rewind for a second going, did I just see what I thought I saw? And all. And just so you guys know, we're in spoilerific territory. So just, you know, this is a part where he's pushing the guy's head, the commissioner's head, the police commissioner, and he's pushing his head kind of a thing. And it's like all of a sudden he just rips apart. I mean, it wasn't just a thing like from Game of Thrones where he kills the one guy, you know, the mountain kills the one guy, you know, crushes his head, Pedro Pascal's character. No, it was, I thought that's what it was going to end up being, like his eyes would pop out or something. They're not going to do that, are they? And then they went totally worse, where just like the whole ripping of the thing. I was just like, oh my goodness.
It was definitely the most gruesome scene ever.
Yes. Yeah. Out of the whole series. Yes.
Right. And that includes the Netflix series. The closest would be the car door scene. That would be the closest. But man, this was something else. And I was just like, wow, they just really did that on Disney Plus.
They did it on Disney Plus. Yes. This is not your grandparents' Disney, everybody. Mm-hmm. Just saying. Holy cow.
That's for sure, man.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I liked it.
Oh gosh.
Well, Anthony, it was, I'm glad you're dead. I'm glad you're
Yeah, it was. The thing was, that was the moment, you know, it's Kingpin. 100%. It's Kingpin. Kingpin is back kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's not this, he went through the whole thing. And I like how they tried to tie Echo in it, sort of, the show Echo, where what happens to Wilson Fisk and stuff.
Right.
You tried to get that in. They didn't spend a whole lot of time on it, and they didn't need to.
No, they didn't. They didn't. I think they touched on it just enough, to just help the story along. I think that was probably one of the better things that they did with their writing of this season.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked the dynamic between him and his wife. I thought that was great. How we had the marriage counseling, because she basically took over his operation while he was out during,
and did pretty good at it too.
Yeah, she did. The funny thing is, she's the same actress that plays the Queen, King Saul's wife, in David in House of David. I was watching it one night, and I'm like, and we'd been watching House of David at the same time, and I'm like, I'm looking at her going, wait a minute, that's not, no. And I looked it up, and sure enough, she's the same actress that plays the Queen, and I was like, holy crap, she's almost the same character. She's not a whole lot different in House of David. Not a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I really liked her. I love the dynamic between the two. And it's a sick and twisted way that they kind of come back together as a couple and bond.
Right. Yeah. We're going to kill the person you had an affair with.
Right.
And that brings you together. Okay, you guys are twisted.
After Fisk had him in a cage for so long,
right? It's like, I didn't know. I won't tell anybody. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was something else. And then she just boom blows him away. It's like, holy crap! Yeah, these two they definitely belong together.
Yeah,
they're both sick and demented. Yeah, I love it.
My villains. I want my good guys to be good, bad guys to be bad, and they are bad.
Boy, are they bad. Both of them are just bad. They're both just evil, evil as evil can be.
Yeah. Yep. So, yes, that is true. So, let's talk about, let's go ahead and move into, you kept it, the end credit scene. You kind of was like, okay, let's save it for spoilerific. So let's talk about that. Okay. So let's talk about the ending. You didn't like the ending, and I want to hear why, and then why it caused you to turn it off, and then let's talk about the end credits.
Well, first of all, I like my Punisher to be badass, kicking ass, and I just felt he gets captured. Now, granted, yes, he got overwhelmed by numerous bad cops.
Boy, he took a lot out, though. I mean,
he sure did. That was pretty glorious.
Yeah.
And then they end this with him sitting in one of those cages underneath Fisk's office or wherever the heck that's at.
That's the Red Hook.
Right. Yeah. At the Red Hook location. Now, the Red Hook, I liked that aspect of this. The fact that you find out that the Red Hook loading dock development, whatever, is like outside of the city. It's not actually part of the city, so they can legally, quote unquote, legally do their crime. I thought that was pretty.
It was clever.
Pretty clever writing. I liked it.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, that's a great way for him to be able to still do his crimes, crime ring, and legally be the mayor still. I was like, yeah, that's clever writing. I like that. I enjoyed that.
I too, as well, thought that was a good twist.
Right.
Of this whole development that you thought, oh, let's just talk about development. He's trying to redevelop something, but they had a purpose behind it.
Right.
I was like, okay, that was good.
But I'm okay with him having these cages and imprisoning people underneath. That's fine. Whatever. I get it. He's the kingpin. But come on, Frank Castle, of all people, you end it with him looking like disheveled and a shell of the Punisher that we know and love, and I'm like, no, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And I just got mad, and I went, okay, fine, it's over. I'm like, boy, I can't wait till Steven and I talk about this because this is going to be right. Yeah. I was not happy with it, and I went, I watched that last week, so I went a whole week. And then
try not to talk about it. Man, kudos to you. Kudos for saving it for the podcast.
Yeah, because I was pissed. And then this morning, I'm doing a little research for it, and I found a nice little recap of the entire season on YouTube. It's about 10 minutes long. So I watched that, and at the end of it, the guy goes, "Oh, and then there's the post-credit scene where the Punisher gets away." And I went, "What?" I didn't know there was a post-credit scene.
Right.
So I was like, oh crap. Yeah. So I turned Disney Plus on and I fast forwarded all the way to the very end. I got to the credits, and then, of course, Disney, I hate Disney's credits because Disney has to put the credits for okay, that's fine. Everybody should get credit. I don't have a problem with that. But then they put it in every language known to man and some not known to man, like for instance, you got English, you got Spanish, you got, I don't know, Italian, Roman, Greek, maybe Hebrew and Aramaic, possibly Klingon. It's like, come on. Are all these people really watching this? Give me a break.
There was, when it popped up, there was a button to skip credits, and it went directly to the.
And I did that this time. See, the first time I just was pissed and I clicked off. I'm done. Done. Okay. We'll do the podcast next week and whatever. But this time, I saw the skip credits, and I was like, oh, great, it's Steven Skip. So I don't have to see the credits in every single freaking language known to man, including aliens. I don't understand why they do that. Anyway, because most of us don't watch the credits. Sorry to all you people who worked hard on the show. Kudos to you guys. Anyway, so I skipped the credits, and I get to this scene. And oh my gosh, I absolutely love this scene. It was great. It was fantastic. I don't know if I should repeat the scene because, that's a major spoiler, but yes, I loved it.
Well, we're in spoilerific territory, so we'll just give everybody a heads up. Let's talk about the screen, because if you liked it, let's talk about it. Because I've only got one thing to say about it.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me set this up. So Frank's in the cage, right? And this guard or whatever comes walking in, and Frank's like, "Hey, what's your name?" And he's like,
and now stop for a second.
Okay.
At that point, I was like, "Oh, he's dead."
Hell yeah, he's dead.
Anyway, continue on. So
Frank he goes, "Anthony," and he's like, "Hey, Anthony, you got a last name?" "Yeah, Petroli." I think it's Petroli. I might be making things up here. Writer's embellishment. Sorry. Podcaster's embellishment. Anyway.
There you go.
He's like, good strong name. He goes, "Where are you from?" "Jersey." "Yeah, I kind of had a feeling." He's like, "Hey man, it's good to meet you." And reaches his hand out.
Yeah.
To shake his hand. And he shakes his hand, and then all of a sudden Frank pulls him into the cage. It's like, and at that point he's like smashing his face into the cage and then grabbing the keys and getting the hell out of there.
Yep.
That was glorious. That made up for like the last 2 episodes. I was like, all right, you guys redeem yourself. Frank's loose. He's going to go kick ass. And that makes me very happy. So,
yeah.
And I felt that was a much more better.
Cheers. Much more better. Very nice. Very nice.
So they did redeem themselves. And I was very, very happy. Because I didn't want to wait to the next season to find out that, Frank Castle got out and so on and so forth. Yeah. I was glad that there was some closure before next season. That made me.
Yeah, some type of closure. Yes.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, will I not watch season 2? No, I'll watch season 2.
Oh yeah, we'll do a show on it and all.
Especially if we have more Punisher, because that's the character I really like.
Yeah.
Now, some things I didn't like. I don't like that they killed Foggy.
At the very
But
beginning.
I did like how they incorporated his death into the story to push the story along.
Yes.
Because it gave Matt it gave him something to shoot for,
Yeah, there's character development in it.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun. He wasn't shooting towards Foggy. Somebody bullseye was shooting towards Foggy.
I didn't mean that. I was struggling for the right words, but
I'm right.
Yeah. So I like that. I missed having Foggy, and I missed having Karen because I really liked her. But I enjoyed the episodes towards the end where Karen comes back.
Yes.
And they were investigating more of Foggy's death, and they come to find out that Foggy was onto Fisk in his operation, which is why Fisk's wife has him killed. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, so at least they had a good purpose for his death.
Yes. Yeah.
And I like that.
It wasn't just a shock factor for the beginning, even though it was a shock factor, but it had purpose behind it in the storytelling.
Right.
That's a good insight. I didn't think about that.
If they would have just
killed
him just to kill him, I would have been pissed.
Yeah.
But there was a purpose behind it.
Well, we were pissed at the beginning. Like, I can't believe they killed him off.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, I had heard that they not only killed him, but they killed Karen, is what I heard originally. And that Matt didn't wear the costume until 4 episodes in, which they still killed Foggy, and he still didn't wear the costume until 4. So that was correct. The only thing that wasn't correct was the part about Karen. But then Karen's basically off the show for half the season, so we still don't get her back.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was referencing everybody when I said there was it's like all of a sudden these two characters and and then all of a sudden, oh, we're back together again. We're back to talking again. Kind of a thing. It was inconsistent.
So,
but you are right about Foggy's death being an integral part of the storytelling. That was well done.
And I think that's the whole thing of Daredevil born again. Because they basically recreated him, his team, because now he's got a new team around him. I do like the new team. I enjoy that, especially the
police officer.
Yeah, the former police officer.
Same here.
He's my favorite of the team. I think he's the coolest of them all.
Yeah.
But I still don't think they're as good as Foggy and Karen.
No, agreed.
But they're a halfway decent replacement.
Yes.
they're the Temu version of the original show. Maybe a little bit higher bar.
That's funny. Oh my goodness. There's a future for that. That's the Temu version.
The Temu version.
In other words, it means it's cheap and crappy.
I used to always say it's the dollar store version, but now it's the
Temu version.
They're a little bit higher bar than Temu.
Right.
Maybe Dollar General version. How's that?
Right. That's funny.
A little bit higher than the dollar store, but
yeah, not quite. You're right.
Not quite.
So would you watch this season again?
No. No. Not this season. No.
Yeah. I don't think there was anything. Maybe if I watched anything, it'd be the fight sequences, and those would be the one with the Muse, not the first one. The first one was okay, but the second one in the office of the psychologist. I guess she was a psychologist.
Yeah,
that one, and then
Matt's girlfriend.
Yes, Matt's girlfriend.
Right.
Yeah. Which that dynamic was weird, but I get it.
It was weird.
There didn't seem to be a whole lot of great chemistry there, kind of a thing. It didn't make sense.
No,
but
since Karen is much more better.
Much more. You've been saying it so much. I'm out. I'm out of my drink. But my favorite fight sequence, let's talk about the favorite fight sequence, was the one where they're in Matt's room, Matt's home, Matt Murdock's home, and it's he and the Punisher.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. I may watch that again, just that kind of a thing. And
that sequence is worth a rewatch. That's for sure.
Yeah. I won't watch Fisk taking out the commissioner because I watched it twice and I was like, oh, that's in your brain. I can't. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to do some cognitive behavioral therapy to get that out of my head.
It was great.
Pardon the pun.
It was great. It was great. Don't get me wrong. It was great. But yeah, you're right. It was so gruesome. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to see it again. But
I think it did showcase though that pivot of the Kingpin is back, and I'm like, okay, that's within character. That's not overly gratuitous. Kind of, really. I mean, it was very. I mean, well, it kind of was, but his character would have done that, and it was showing that he had made the transition. That he's not the mayor anymore. He's Kingpin. Kingpin is back.
That is exactly something that the Kingpin would have done in the comic books. So
yeah,
I am fully on board with it. You know, I think it was great. But again, just gruesome.
Yes,
definitely. If you got kids, you probably want them out of the room at that point. So, it'd be questionable for too young of an audience to be watching this show to begin with. But just my opinion.
What was your favorite fight sequence?
I would say the same one as you with the Punisher, both the Punisher. I would say that's number one, and then the second fight with Muse is number two. Because those were great fight sequences. Mm-hmm. And then it was pretty surprising what happens at the end of the Muse fight when she puts down Muse.
Right.
I mean, like her or hate her, it was still pretty incredible. And I think through Matt, too. He was
just to continue with our scale, everybody, she wasted Muse. Wasted Muse.
She sure did. And that's why I say that in two ways. She wasted him because she killed him. He's gone. But at the same time, I felt they kind of wasted the character. We had 3 episodes of Muse. He was actually an interesting bad guy. I think it would have been cool if we could have had him come back for in another season or something. I think they should have had a different ending for him. Even though it was a great scene, the scene works out great, but overall, I would have liked to seen him go on. So, and that's where it loses a little bit. That, and there's just some slow points. And then Matt not having the costume on as much in the beginning, that takes away.
We got him in the first episode, and then
like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
It's all,
and even then, it wasn't a whole lot.
It was all Hell's Kitchen law, or like L.A. law.
Yeah,
and I know you got to have some of that in there because he is a lawyer. You got to showcase that and everything. But you know what? That's fine. Have episodes where he's doing that, but sprinkle in the costume a little bit. At least give us a taste of it during those episodes. Not full on Matt lawyer. Right. Although, he is a really good lawyer. I love that they reused that line. That was great. How did you do that? I'm a really good lawyer. That comes from the Spider-Man movie.
Yep.
He catches the brick. And Peter Parker's like, how did you do that? Like that has anything to do with being a lawyer, but
right.
It was
right.
Awesome.
But it was funny.
It was
true. Yes.
All right.
Very much so. All right. Nice show. It was a good show. It was a good discussion. Yeah. And all. I didn't know where we were going to go. We truly saved it for the podcast, everybody.
Yeah, we sure did. We did not discuss this at all between. And yeah. And I'm glad I did the research this morning. That's funny.
Yep. Let's see. A couple of things, everybody, just as we're wrapping up. Don't forget that if our guest last week with Tom Hutchison, his Kickstarter goes up this Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
This coming Wednesday. And so please check that out.
I should be getting my Critter book this week.
Nice. Maybe we should go on live late Wednesday night or something and just say, hey, everybody, it's online or something. And you can show off your Critter book so you can see the art. Everybody, also real quick, thanks for checking us out. If you want to check out more on Two Geeks, our website is www.twogeeksmic.com. That's the number 2 GEEKSMIC.com. And you can find all things Two Geeks there. It is kind of the hub for all the other links. And if you want to go to our merch page, you can go there. If you want to go to our Ko-fi page to help support us, you can go there. So, or you can go directly to our merch page at twogeeksmicmerch.com. That's the number 2 GEEKSMICMERCH.com. And you can check out some of our stuff there. Then also, if you want to go support us, which we really appreciate the help, it's at kofi.com/2geeks, number 2 geeks. That's ko-fi.com/2 GEEKS. And Mike's been doing some really cool stuff, uploading some of the journal entries and the audio journals for his Immortality Code book. Which is pretty cool. And so we really appreciate the opportunity. Just if you support us, we want to just say thank you. And Mike's done pretty cool things for that. So we've got a $1 tier, a $2 tier, and a $3 tier. And we just really appreciate everybody's help and stuff like that. So we'll also make sure just to give shout outs to those who are supporting us. And so we'll do that next week. Or not next week, 2 weeks we'll do it when we do.
Not next week. Next week we will not be on because I'm going camping next week.
Right on.
Although you can purchase my audio book version of Immortality Code on also.
Yes.
And if you subscribe to us, you get a version of it. So
yes, yes, you do.
So there's a perk for subscribing.
Right on.
I've listened to it actually. I'm really liking it. If I do say so myself. If I toot my own horn.
Toot, toot. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. Yeah, check it out. If you're into audiobooks like I am, I like audiobooks. And I'll read physical books, I'll read digital books, and I'll do audiobooks. I just love learning and hearing stories and stuff like that. So that is the case. So, all right, Mike, anything else?
All right. With that said, please make sure and go and like and subscribe to us on Facebook. Well, on all the socials such as X. Well, don't worry about X because I never post anything on it.
But Facebook, right?
I don't have anything against X. I've never been a Twitter person. That's all. We're on Twitter. I just hardly ever post anything there. So
yeah,
but you can get us on Rumble, on YouTube, and Twitch, and Facebook. And if you go like us and subscribe to us on Facebook, that's where I try to share some memes that I steal, some memes that I make. All's fair in podcasting and love and podcasting. But anyway, so I share those, and you can get information as to when we go live. Speaking of going live, we go live almost every Saturday. Because next week we won't be. Almost every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You do the math on the rest because I don't like math. It was funny. Yesterday at work, I was talking to a friend of mine. He's working on starting his own podcast, and hopefully he will be listening and take the encouragement to take the leap and do it. But anyway, he said, I don't remember what we were talking about, but he said something about math. And I go, you don't listen to my podcast, do you? Because I end it the same way every time. I don't like math. So, anyway.
Oh gosh.
All right. So that was a long segue out of here. Anything else, Steven?
Nope. It's all you, my friend.
All right. So with that said, please make sure and not Steven skip this episode because we are much more better than the rest. Cheers. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the force be with you.